You ask, what is it to be a Christian? And you say that you continue to struggle with the Nicene Creed, reconciling historicity and theology, the resurrection, ascension as historical facts, the substitutionary atonement theory, why such a blood sacrifice would be needed. You say you guess you need help to put the historicity into a context that allows me to embrace the great majority of the wonderful theology that exists. You say in one way you feel very disconnected, in another you feel called, but you just don't know what it is that is calling you. Well, that is a very important question today, especially what is it to be a Christian? Let's cut to the chase. It is not about adhering to a set of beliefs. That is something else. To come to the heart of the matter, to be a Christian is to live in a certain way, a certain energy, a certain frequency, a certain self-transcendent peace and humility because of consciousness of the sacred, of the invisible and the visible, of the deeper reality beyond ourselves, beyond our culture. Christians in ancient times were called witnesses to eternity, witnesses in time to eternity, to that other dimension of reality that is not thought about it, that in fact the world distracts itself from. To be a Christian is to be one who has devoted their existence in total trust to that goodness and unconditional love which is revealed as the nature of the Creator, of the Source, of Abba. The imitation of Christ as the first fruit of many. He who, in that incarnation of goodness and mercy, establishes a way of being that breaks all the rules, all the walls that separate people. Certainly the rules of his Hebrew background, from the kosher laws to equality of women, he was truly not of this world, truly unimpacted by the downward pull of human behavior, human self-interest, which soils religion, always and everywhere. To be a Christian in this day and age is to reject all that claims to be Christian and is so full of judgment, intolerance, violence, hatred, rigidity, literalism, fundamentalism. You bring up the substitutionary theory. Do you realize that you're not alone in sensing that there's something terribly wrong with the idea that the Holy One needs a blood sacrifice of an innocent to be satisfied, to have his justice satisfied? That is grotesque beyond words. The Qatar in southern France, that glorious religious Christian community, so far ahead of its time, rejected it completely. They were not going to worship a God who demanded that. And we know that a treatise in the 11th century by St. Anselm cemented this substitutionary theory, atonement, blood of Christ, all of that in the Catholic medieval mind, which was then inherited wholesale by the Protestants, even as they rejected, hated the Catholic everything. Insanity. You try to struggle with resurrection. Understand that what is important for you now is the recognition of the victory of good over evil, of light over darkness, that no matter how dark it is, how much evil seems to have taken over the world, the victory belongs to that which is infinitely greater than the miserable darkness of human beings. That the cross in ancient times had no tortured body on it. It was a symbol of victory, of eternity in time, eternity in time, and the victory of the true and the good and the beautiful and the reason for existence over the perversion and destruction that human beings bring to it. To be a Christian today means to find that universal connectedness among all those who are going through metanoia, through change of consciousness, through different relationship with their life and its purpose, and in joy and bliss and wisdom are devoted to something greater than themselves. That is not an idea, but a reality that comes through them. So if your rational mind doesn't know how to deal with the idea of the resurrection, don't let that be a stumbling block. Because ultimately what is important is not the historical fact, but the symbolic sign that points us to the greater truth. And the greater truth is that the Hitlers of this world, the Stalins, the Saddam Husseins, and the guy at the grocery store who's so full of negativity or who beats his dog, that those people do not have the final say about why there is life on earth. It does not belong to them. And the gory history of humanity, made all the worse by religion, cannot pass for our understanding of who God is, of why we're here. To be a Christian is to be radically different than the world around us, to be conscious on a new level, so that we are not just on the puppet strings of our mechanics, of our knee-jerk reactions like everybody else, that we are a place of conscious peace. Conscious peace. There where we meet our brothers and sisters from Sufism, from Buddhism, with the difference being that the Christ is very specifically revelatory in bringing us into union with the living one. To be a Christian is to have a certainty that God is in fact unconditional, agape, closer to us than our own breath, so intimately connected to God's creation, to our existence, that we participate in that Holy Spirit energy flow for the sake of the good, regardless of what is occurring around us, what humanity is doing in this moment in history. We are blessing in this world because of our love and devotion and listening to inspiration from above. Let that be what you are after, not the chronological historicity and the stories and the symbols that ultimately are about spiritual transformation, not about external facts. So go more mystical. Join Meister Eckhart on an understanding that is existential, immediate, transformative in the moment, enlightening, liberating from the mind, and full of wonder. find that beyond Christianity, and yet at the core of it. What Christianity is not is the worship of a book, the belief in a book which is a map, which is a gathering of signs, of echoes of human experiences and hopes and dreams, which is leading us to the living Spirit. It is not the living Spirit. It is not written by one, in one fell swoop by Spirit, the way the Quran claims to be. We cannot reduce it to the bibliolatry of the American frontier. It is certainly not being obligated to go to church every Sunday like the Catholics or the Orthodox. It is not ritual, even though discipline can be good, for a time perhaps, but nothing of the external, however beautiful, however sacred, however stimulating your senses towards the sensation of the divine. None of it is the essence of Christianity. It all disintegrates, is reduced, is limited by the human impact on it. So that orthodoxy, carrying as a glorious vessel the ancient traditions, full of mystical impact, especially for Westerners who've gone so rational and betrayed their own intuitive side. He broke through into our three-dimensional world with another kind of consciousness, another kind of awareness. Watch, do not sleep. Another kind of presence that is transformative and liberating and healing. So follow your healing, follow that which heals you, because that's where you'll start finding the holy. That's where divine grace will come to meet you. Do not let Christianity interfere with your discovery of what Christianity is supposed to be about. Ultimately, it is not about anything but your relationship, experience with the holy, the good, with unconditional love, with achieving your highest potential, fulfilling your true purpose here with your intelligence, your will, your discernment, your attraction, your nostalgia for something beyond what this world offers. So perhaps the question is not what is it to be a Christian? What is it to be a mystic? What is it to be a lover of God? What is it to be made whole in this world but not of it? That is the question. Because in this world, in the outside world, you will not find the treasure, the spiritual treasure of Christianity in all that calls itself Christian. You will not find it out there because it is all about what is within. Jesus came to reveal to us what is within, who we truly are, and take us from the old to the new. That is what is behind this religion.